Good to join you in the comment section. Yeah, another tough day. I feel like I injured myself yesterday. I was in the boxing class and I probably were doing a lot of stepping and I think I stepped wrong. And I have a problem in my heels. I don't even know, like between sort of like heels and ankles, I have sort of a problem which has been an ongoing problem. It's been going on for like also the last 6 months. And I kept on playing the badminton. And when I would play badminton, I would actually make it worse because the footwork was quite hard for me. So I figured out a way to play badminton, but not actually hurting it, which was stepping in a different way. So I wasn't doing the usual stepping of badminton. But then every time I was doing something wrong, every time I was stepping wrong, I was just making it worse. But now what I've done is so then I kind of like started taking things easy and it was kind of gone. But then yesterday I stepped wrong and it feels like it's back. And it's not the bone because I've been to the doctor and I showed them. I showed the nurses what was going on and they couldn't find anything. They're like, it's definitely not a broken bone. I think that in my x-ray as well, they couldn't find any broken bones. And so I'm not going to go back to the doctor again. I feel like it's like some sort of nerve, man. It could be like a trap nerve or something. Like it just comes back. You do something wrong, you do a bit of wrong stepping or whatever and then it just comes back. So hopefully this time it's going to be. I'm probably going to take a bit of rest tomorrow. I mean, I took the class yesterday. I did wrestling today. I didn't do kickboxing because I knew I was going to make it worse. And then tomorrow I'm probably just going to work from home and then see if it gets better. And then we're going to talk about the actual topic, which is Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes, which is officially off from UFC 324. That was going to be one of the best fights of UFC 324. And you know what? A lot of people are actually criticizing that it was a co-main event instead of the main event. And one of the reasons people were actually mad was because fuck. One of the reasons people were actually mad was because Patty Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje was the main event, and people did not even think that that should have been a fight on the main card. That fight should have actually been for the interim title. Most of the fans wanted Arman Sarikin to be one of the guys because, I mean, he's the guy who's been putting in all the work. Dana White promised him the title shot if he beat Dan Hooker, which he did very easily. And he's been taking all the grappling matches. He's very active outside. He's taking the wrestling matches. He's winning all of them. I think the whole last year, like 1.5 year, he had 7 grappling matches in total. And then in the last 3 months, he had 2 BJJ matches, and then he had 1 wrestling match, and he also had 1 MMA match, but Dan Hooker that he won. So I don't know what's going on. Yo, bro, how's it going, man? Yeah, I was just talking about like sorry. I was talking about how I injured my foot and I'm probably gonna be taking off tomorrow. I'm trying to take rest. Yeah, man, I'm good as well. It's just my foot. Like I think I was doing wrong stepping yesterday when I was doing the taking the boxing class. I was just stepped wrong and it's something that I had going on for like the last 6 months and it just came back. It's not like it's a new injury. It's just remember I used to tell you like when I'm doing my badminton footwork, it hurts every single time and I make it worse. So I figured out a way to actually do this stepping in a way that it doesn't hurt too much. So now my usual badminton footwork, I learned a new type of like footwork, which is probably not best for badminton, but for my injuries that would have been the way. Um, and yeah, I made it worse. And then today I was limping the whole day and then tomorrow I'm probably just gonna work from home and just wait for it to recover, man. And stepping wise, I need to step on my heel first. So when I'm walking, that's a better way instead of like stepping on the front tip of the foot. Anyway, Amanda Nunes versus Kayla Harrison is off. It's officially off. It's not happening at UFC 334. And nobody was happy about it being the co-main event. Like people actually wanted that to be the main event, and now it is off. So I made a video about this, and I was saying in the hindsight, it could actually be a good thing because this match actually deserves to be the main event spot. So when Kayla Harrison actually recovers, she gets the surgery. When she comes back, then you can make the fight versus Amanda Nunes, and then you can make it a main event. And by the way, I'm not really sure if Amanda is fighting on the card. By the way, if they could find an opponent for Amanda and make Amanda fight for the interim title, depends on how long Kayla is taking off. If Kayla is taking like 5 months, 6 months off, Let Amanda fight for the interim title. You can build the match even more. Like Kayla comes back to fight Amanda because now Kayla Harrison is going to be the favorite, right? If they fight right now. But like if Amanda gets a tune-up fight and then Amanda performs very well in the tune-up fight, I think people are going to be divided like 50-50 for the actual fight. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, man. I'm gonna take rest. I'm still gonna work out tomorrow, but I might just hit the gym. Like I might just do the upper body workout, even legs. But like gym workout is pretty static. You're not doing a lot of stepping, so it's kind of fine. I might just do that tomorrow. But depends. If I feel okay, I might go for boxing again. Yeah, that's what I want to do, man. Look. Kayla Harrison's definitely off, so she's not going to be fighting for like the next couple of months. So I'm saying, why not have an interim title? Why not have Amanda fight somebody else for the interim title and see how Amanda performs? And like, I think it's good for Amanda as well. Like, if she's jumping right in with Kayla after like 2 years, maybe she might not even feel good. So let her have a tuna fight. She gets like a tuna fight, and then if she feels good, then the fight against Kayla Harrison would actually be awesome. It would be epic. One other thing that I was thinking about is like they could also make like Ronda versus Kayla when Kayla comes back and she fights Amanda because there's a lot of storyline between Ronda and Kayla Harrison. Ronda used to train with Kayla Harrison. She was like the senior of Kayla Harrison when they used to train judo together. And Rana used to whoop her ass. Obviously, Rana was much older than her. Kayla Harrison was quite young. But then Kayla Harrison ended up winning two judo gold medals in the Olympics, which Rana never did. Rana won the silver medal, I think. And you could make the storyline like the teacher versus the student, and the student can actually be the teacher now. And then even with the Amanda fight, there's a lot of storylines, by the way, because Kayla Harrison actually was fighting somewhere else, and then she trained with Amanda Nunes when she came to the is Amanda Nunes training at the top team? So whichever gym she's training at, actually, Amanda Nunes whooped her bad, and then Kayla realized she had never been manhandled like that, and then Kayla realized like she needed to improve. So she was like, okay, I'm gonna be training partner of Amanda Nunes. So she joined the gym, and then obviously she improved after that. But now she's got to a point where she can potentially beat Amanda Nunes. We don't really know. We're gonna find out after the fight. We'll see what happens. But yeah, man, that fight is off. That fight is officially off, and I want to see what happens. By the way, Adesanya is fighting Joe Pyfer, and Joe Pyfer is a guy who Joe Rogan has actually hyped up so much. And this is a guy who, according to Joe Rogan, actually broke the record for the world hardest punch. But people are saying there's something wrong with the machine because it's not physically possible for him to hit harder than Francis Ngannou, according to some of the people. Yeah, Kayla and Rana, but it wasn't MMA. It was only judo. It was like a long time ago because they both did judo, and I think they were part of like the Olympic. Because Rhonda was part of the Olympic team, and then Kayla was like a junior at that time, and then Rhonda and Kayla used to train together. I don't know about the age difference, by the way, but Rhonda was older than Kayla, and Rhonda was a senior of Kayla Harrison. And yeah, with the Joe Pyfer fight, though, I'm really excited about this fight. You know why? Because I really think Israel Adesanya can beat him, and I think it's a good back. It's a good fight to actually come back in the title picture. Like you win this fight, you start your title run, you start winning some more fights, and it's a winnable fight. Like technically, I think Israel Adesanya is much better than Joe Pyfer because Joe Pyfer doesn't. Izzy's gonna have a big kicking advantage. Plus, Izzy is might be a little taller than Joe Pyfer. Joe Pyfer has explosiveness, and I'm not sure how fast Izzy is at this point in his career. Naturally, Israel Adesanya is a very fast guy. He's also got very nice feints. Like I love it. Joe Pyfer is not going to be able to see the punches coming. Like Izzy, if he's fighting on the feet, man, he's got some nice feints. And Joe Pyfer is not even going to wrestle, so it's going to be a striking battle. And I give advantage to Israel Adesanya. I think he can catch him. We can counter him. Because Joe, the thing is, Joe, he makes mistake. He gets hit. He's just explosive. That's the only thing with him. Like he carries a lot of power and he's pretty fast. So in the first round, he's always very dangerous. But I think if Addison can actually pause through the first round, Joe is gonna lose some of his steam. He's gonna lose his steam in his punches, and Izzy will get used to the speed of Joe Pfeiffer. Once he sees the punches coming, I think it's just gonna pick him apart. And for Joe Pfeiffer, it's like a big fight because I'm looking at it from Israel Adesany's point of view. All right, it's a good fight to actually come back to the title picture. But even from Joe Pafford's point of view, that's a fight that can actually build him up. You need like a star power, right? Easy is probably at the end of his career. We don't even know if he's going to be in his shape. We don't know how much it's training for the fight. Joe Pafford can actually test him. Yeah, Joe actually, Joe Rogan actually hype him a lot. I think this is the thing with Joe Rogan, right? He sees anybody new and is like, damn, this guy, who the fuck moves like this guy? Who the fuck hits like this guy? This guy's a machine. This guy hits like a truck. His power is like the Ford Escort. This guy moves like he's in a matrix. He's untouchable. Like, what is did you see, by the way, Joe Rogan, Joe Rogan with what's his name, man? The heavyweight guy who's a prospect like John Jones. He's look. It's hard to say if he's good or not because the thing is he puts people to sleep. So the power actually is real. I don't think Joe Rogan is kind of overhyping him. His power is actually relentless power. Like watch his last few fights, dude. He hits guys with one shot, and they're down. Some of them go to sleep and they don't wake up for like the next 2 minutes. Some of them go down, they get up, but even then you see like, oh shit, something really hit him. Like they've never been hit that hard. Uh, yeah, he was with Gable Stevenson. Gable Stevenson is the guy that I'm talking about. John Jones prospect. So Joe Rogan was hyping him so much. He's like, but who's gonna beat you? You're already there. He's like, if you go to heavyweight division, it's like there's only like 4 to 5 guys that can probably beat you. Like that's gonna be tough. Like Tom Aspinall, Cyril Gone, and then he mentions like two other guys like Francis Ngannou and John Jones. He's like, you're already there. Bro, he's not there. Gable Stevenson is not there. He's amazing. Do I think he can be a future champion? Yes, I do think. I don't think anybody is going to be able to handle the wrestling. But don't say he's already there. Dude has literally won 2 matches. And he's won those 2 matches in like a local organization, like a local MMA shows. It's not even like a UFC, right? And he's beaten two unranked, some unranked guys. I, it's not the same. He was able to take them down easily. He was able to drop them with the shots. Do you think he's just going to be able to hit Cyril Gane like that? And I'm not saying he's not going to be able to take down Cyril Gane. He might be able to take down Cyril Gane, but do you think he has the jiu-jitsu to actually control him or to submit him? I don't know. Maybe we can find out. But like to say he's already there and like we've seen it. Okay, maybe he's already there. Maybe he's good enough. He's good enough right now to be Cyril Gane. But how do we even know that? You can't just tell me that after beating those two tomato cans, he's already there. No, he's not. He's not. Maybe he is, but we don't know. Those two fights do not determine that, and we need to see him more. I think he's gonna make it because he's actually I think he's gonna be good. Like if he keeps training with John Jones, if he keeps training with like let's say Gordon Ryan for jiu-jitsu, he's gonna improve, man. He's explosive. I see some of the things that he has. Like obviously he's a genetic freak. Yo, Tyler, how's it going, bro? Man, I'm going for the same. I'm actually going for ECW as well, but the only thing is Joe Pfeiffer is very explosive. This is the only thing I'm concerned about. I don't know if Israel Adesanya is going to be showing in his prime. So if the prime is he actually shows up, I know he's going to counter him. He's too slick for Joe Pfeiffer. Joe Pfeiffer is not catching him. Joe Pfeiffer does not kick, by the way. He barely kicks. He's just gonna have the kicking advantage. He does the feints. He's a better counter striker. The only thing Joe Pfeiffer is a touch of death that I'm gonna give him. Like he's very explosive. If you watch like some of his last fights, right? This guy drops people. When I hit him, I they don't fucking move. So he actually drops people. Like Joe Rogan tries to hype him, but he does have power. So Easy just needs to be careful throughout the first round. I think once he actually reads him, he's gonna pick him apart. Or it's gonna be easy work for his Sonny after that. I think second round, third round, he's just gonna pick him apart. But yeah, I was talking about Gable Stevenson. I was like, yeah, Gable Stevenson is a good fighter, and I think if he keeps training with like good high level strikers, and he keeps training like jiu-jitsu with like Gordon Ryan, he's definitely going to be a world champion. I believe that. I think he has the ability because genetically he's so good. Like his double leg takedowns, we saw he's got power as well. So obviously he's very explosive. With Adesanya, yeah. I'm gonna go with this as well, man. I hope he shows in his prime form, and I hope he actually trains, take this fight seriously, and trains for this fight like his life depends on it. Because this could be the last time. Oh shit! This could be the last time that we actually seeing Israel Adesanya actually making a title run. And although it might seem like a joke, like oh, is he actually gonna make a title run? But I do believe confidently. You know why? Because Hamza Chimaev is gonna move to light heavyweight, so middleweight is kind of gonna be open after that. I think. Hamza Chimaev was 100% hinted he's going to defend the title probably one time or just move to light heavyweight because he's already trying to get a fight with Alex Pereira. He wants to get the fight in the White House, and according to some of the sources, he's 231 pounds right now. 231 pounds. If he's 231, making 185 is not going to be that easy. So I think Chimaev should probably just move up to light heavyweight. There's some good matches for him. Izzy can Izzy can beat some of the guys. I truly honestly believe that. Like he's been beaten before by let's say Imavov and some of the guys who could wrestle. But I think he has a chance. Like get W against Joe Pfeiffer. Then you get a fight against like RDR maybe or like I don't know, Hernandez or like Sean Strickland maybe. Rematch with Sean Strickland. Once you get that W, then it's like you can probably fight for the title because he doesn't need too many fights to fight for the title. He's a star. Dana White recognizes, right? He sells tickets. So even if Israel Adesanya gets 2 wins, you never know. Dana might actually just put him in the title picture because he's gonna sell. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I really want to see him back, though. I really want to see him back. Or he could take the money fights, right? Like Israel Adesanya's style is so flashy. I'm sure you can make some money fights with like some of the good strikers, like Shara Megamadov, right? Imagine that fight in Dubai. Like Shara sells a lot in Dubai because he's just got that star power. And you know Shara's problem with the wrestlers Adesanya gets problem with the wrestlers as well. So you're gonna have like a striking battle, flashy. Shara likes to do like flashy stuff, right? Adesanya likes to do the same stuff. So that's gonna be a nice battle. You could do the same thing with MVP. Look, MVP is pretty slick, and I think at this point in his career, MVP is also looking for like the money fights. He's looking for the flashy money fights. It's gonna be very hard for him to actually make a run for the title. You can make Izzy versus MVP. That could be a nice matchup. What else is new in the UFC? I'm trying to think, by the way. Maybe not in UFC, but in PFL, there's Alfie Davis is fighting Usman Nurmagomedov, and to be honest, Alfie actually, yeah, I wanna see that too. Like that fight, I'll be excited about. Like Izzy versus Shara, and you gotta make that happen in Dubai. Because first of all, I don't even think that Shah is allowed to fight in the USA because of his eye. Like he can't see from one eye. So I'm gonna if they can make that happen in Dubai with Shara getting all the support from the crowd, UFC is gonna make a lot of money there. And then Izzy actually putting on a show. If they're fighting, I think I'll go with Izzy. I think Izzy is a little bit more yeah, he's got a bit more tricks. I think he's a little bit faster. A little bit faster. He's going to be a little bit more slick. But Shara does well in those fights as well. Like those stylistic striking battles, he does well. Uh, are you going with Osman? Bro, I'm going to, because Alfie Davis is actually training in my gym, so I'm going to have to go with him. Actually, I might pop in the class tomorrow just to see the pros train. But yeah, Usman, if you're looking at like the who is more likely to win. Obviously, Usman has done a lot in the sport. He's fought the best of the best in PFL. He fought Paul Hughes twice. Those were like good fights, and that's where I recognize that Paul Hughes and Usman Nurmagomedov are both UFC material. And if they both move to UFC right now, I think they will be top five. They both can actually really man do it on a high level. So I'll be interested in the fight to be honest. I've not seen Alfie Davis fighting. I've seen probably a couple of his heels on like Instagram and stuff, but I need to watch some of his stuff. I'm probably gonna tune into some of his fights tonight and see what his style is actually, how he's gonna be able to defend the takedowns and stuff. I'm trying to remember what else is happening in the UFC right now. So Amanda versus Kayla is off. You have Arisania fighting Joe Pfeiffer. And then if you're looking at the next title event, Patty Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje is happening, and who else is fighting? Alex Perez is probably gonna move to heavyweight. He's gonna fight for that title. Yeah, Volk is fighting Diego Lopez. So Volk is fighting Diego Lopez. I'm gonna pick Volk in that fight. And the reason I'm picking Volk is I think it's going to be a little bit more slick. I think it's going to be smart with the approach. Just because it's a rematch, I think it's going to probably try to implement the same strategy. The only way I see Diego Lopez winning is if Diego catches him early in the fight. And then we don't really know if Volk has got the same chin, if he's going to be able to take a shot because he's been dropped a couple of times now. Like Islam really dropped him, Ilya dropped him bad. So if Diego can catch him early and then he can capitalize on that, that could be a problem. But I think the keys to victory for Volk is just mixing it up. Volk is a better striker. He's faster. He's just like it's so hard to pin Volk, to be honest. He's always moving. He's constantly moving. Just throw a lot of leg kicks, shoot the takedowns, mix in the takedowns. His takedowns are really good. Diego Lopez does not have the best takedown defense. We saw that in the first fight as well. We saw that against Movsar Evloev, who was able to take him down multiple times. So take him down. Maybe at the end of the round, stay on top, do a bit of ground and pound. Uh, Diego Lopez has got good submissions from the bottom, but that's why you don't have to shoot the takedown in the start of the round, right? You could shoot the takedown after like 3.5 minutes, like 4 minutes. So you don't have to spend a lot of time on the ground and then see how it's going on the ground. If you could do ground and pound, Volk W. I think Lopez loses and goes up to 155 for some money fights like BMF. To be honest, Diego Lopez is one of the biggest featherweights. If you're looking at the size, like I don't even know how this guy actually makes featherweight. He's pretty tall for the weight class, and he's not even like a lanky tall. He's got he's pretty wide. Like you could see the boy's pretty thick as well. And money fights like BMF, I do see him fighting for the BMF because this is that he's that type of fighter. For the BMF, you actually need like bad motherfuckers who are willing to risk it all. And Lopez is one of those guys. How many times has this guy actually stepped on short notice fights? He fights like 5 times a year, and his fighting style is all like a BMF. Like this guy has no quit in him. This guy does not take a back step. He's always moving forward. He's willing to trade in the punches. So I think stylistically, yes, BMF title fight. If he actually moves to 155, whoever is the champion, like I could see him versus Max. I think that would be a great fight. Although I do think Max is going to be a bit too much because Max is going to be a bit faster, a bit more slick on the feet. His output is very high. But yeah, Lopez could take him down maybe. 155, and we don't even know how the weight cut is affecting him. Like we've only seen him at 145. We've never seen him at 155. So he might actually feel stronger at 155, and he might actually hit even harder at 155. Like we know at 145 this guy actually does hit hard, but we don't know. Maybe at 155 he hits even harder. He's even stronger. So I'll be excited to see him at 150, 155. And by the way, sometimes when you move up a weight class, your wrestling improves as well. Just because your strength improves, right? Sometimes that actually gives a boost to your wrestling. Like I can give you like a few examples. Let's say with uh Aljamain Sterling. Sterling was fighting at 135. He was not the best wrestler. He said it himself because he was feeling a little bit drained. His jiu-jitsu was top notch, so when he was getting the guys down, he was able to keep the top control. He was able to get the back position. But we saw him at 145. He was able to take Movsar Evloev down like a few times. Who does that to Movsar Evloev? And Sterling actually said that he felt really strong in 145, and that's why he was able to implement those takedowns. So maybe with Lopez, we see the same thing. Like he moves to 155, and maybe now he's shooting double legs. He's taking people down. We saw that, by the way. If you want some more examples, Islam Makachev, he moved to 170, fighting Jack Della Maddalena. He was faster than him. He was able to get the legs quickly, and he felt stronger as well. So, and he said that he could wrestle for 5 rounds. He was like, I could have never been able to wrestle at 155 for like 5 rounds. But 170, you could actually wrestle for like 5 rounds. It was like I was not even tired at the end of the round. So maybe it does help with the higher weight class sometimes. Mm. Um, I'm trying to think of any more upcoming fights. Oh, oh. So with the upcoming fights, we got this one. Who is fighting for the 125 title? Oh yeah, it's Pinto. What's his name? Joshua Wan is fighting, right? Joshua Wan is fighting. Joshua Wan. Who is he fighting? Man, he's fighting that dude. He's fighting that dude. To be honest, I don't even know that. Ricky Tertius or Smotherman. I'm not, bro. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I do not know those guys. Are they like famous guys? Are they in UFC, by the way? Yeah, man. Like I am after both Kayla and Amanda, right? They both are my crutches, and they're fighting. That should not be happening. So I'm excited that fight is off, so I don't have to see them fight now. Prelims are 324. I don't know all the fighters on 324. To be honest, I'm trying to keep myself up to date with the UFC, but probably I don't know the unranked fighters. So this Ricky Tertius or Smotherman, are they like unranked fighters or are they ranked fighters at the moment? Uh, yeah, Manel Cop. Yeah, Wolfpack. Manel Cop, that's the guy. He's fighting. And Manel Cop is very dangerous because this is the guy who's got one punch knockout power at flyweight, which is quite rare. And I really want to see him against Joshua Van because they have different styles. Joshua Van, good counter puncher. He's also a good pressure fighter. So, and he's good at like boxing and stuff, but he does get hit a lot. And Manil Cup is the one who could put your lights out with one punch. Joshua does have a chin, and Mexico, he's not from Mexico actually, but I think Joshua Van does have a very good chin. So I want to see how he takes the punches. Or Ricky was a winner of tough. You know what? I would check his fight stars tonight. Like I would have some time. I would probably watch some fights on YouTube to see. Uh, so yeah. What's his style, by the way? Is he more like a striker or a grappler? Is he like an aggressive fighter or is he more like a defensive based fighter? So 125, we have those guys fighting. 135. Who's fighting at 135? Yeah. So we have Peter Yan. Peter Yan at 135. Aggressive glapper, but he likes to strike too. All right, so it's entertaining style. Yeah, I'll be willing to tune into his career. Any new prospects that you're actually looking at UFC that you're excited about and you'd be like, okay, this guy's probably gonna be one of the best. Uh for me personally, if I'm looking at the prospects, I mean Peyton Talbot is like one of those where it's like I do want to see him. I do want to see him fight, and I think he's very talented. But I think in the last fight, Henry Cejudo kind of messed it up because Henry Cejudo, being an Olympic gold medalist, should not have been getting out wrestled by Peyton Talbot. I do not think he was in shape for the fight. To be honest, he was so tired even after the first round, and you can see the way Henry was actually wrestling. Right, he was like, "Nah, nah, it's not the Henry Cejudo that actually fought Demetrius Johnson." So yeah, but if there are any prospects that I'm looking at that I think can be champion in the future, it's Peyton Talbot definitely because I do think he's improved his wrestling a lot and his striking is really beautiful. So he could be good. And any other guys that I'm excited to see in 2026? I want to see Moser Evilo actually making a comeback because he hasn't fought for like a long, long time. I want to see Arman Saryukin getting a title shot. This guy's been so active outside. He's been winning all the titles outside. He won the grappling championship against the Russian guy. He's doing very well in wrestling. I want to see him compete in UFC. And I think the problem is because Patty is gonna fight Ilya, and Ilya's got his court case. So it's probably gonna get Ilya a couple of months to get back into the ring, and then they might delay the Armand fight after that. So they're gonna give Armand the winner of Charles versus Max Holloway. Now that's a good fight for Armand. It's probably gonna be able to make a lot of money as well. His stock would also go up because both of those guys are stars. And people want to see a rematch with Charles because in the first fight it was pretty close and it was a 3 round fight. People actually want to see them fight for like 5 rounds because then they'll be able to see like Arman's grappling. Everybody knows Arman's top control is amazing. But when you're going against a guy like Charles Oliveira, right? He's very good from the bottom. His jiu-jitsu is unbelievable. He can attack submissions from any angles. So I think people will love to see what Charles is able to do for the 5 rounds and how Arman is able to control him from the top for like 5 rounds. And um, if even if he goes against like our Max Holloway, let's say Max Holloway beats Charles Oliveira, that's going to be a very exciting fight because Max is a guy who's really hard to like keep down. Like we've seen Max against the guys who could grapple, right? Ilya Tapori could grapple to some extent. He took Max down, but he couldn't keep him down. So we want to see if Arman can actually take him down. Arman's definitely going to be able to take down Max Holloway. That's 100%. He's going to be able to do it. But can he actually keep him down? That's going to be interesting to see, and how Arman does against Max Holloway on the feet, because we have never seen Arman Sarikian against a striker like Max Holloway, who puts the pressure like Max Holloway, who doesn't take a back step like Max Holloway. Constant pressure, very good counter strikes too. So I'll be excited for that matchup. And then probably by the end of the year, or maybe 2027, early 2027, they can make Arman Saryukian versus uh, whoever is the champion at that time. And then I also want to see that's a fun matchup, right? I also want to see Usman Nurmagomedov and Paul Hughes actually moving to UFC, because I think these two guys actually have a caliber of competing at the UFC level. They're fighting at the PFL level, and we've seen a lot of examples where people fighting in the other organizations do very well in their organizations, respective organizations. They're the champions over there. But when they actually move to the UFC, it's like they can't even climb up the ranks. They lose to number 10 guys. That happens sometimes. They'll completely get demolished. And it's because of the level of the guys sometimes. Because UFC level guys, I think they're the best. They're fighting at a very high level. So, but with those two guys, I'm pretty confident they're going to be able to compete with the high level UFC guys. It's just from watching their fights and seeing like how intense they fight and how complete of fighters they are, the way they have been able to grapple, the way they've been able to strike, and also the camps that they're coming from, especially with Usman Nurmagomedov. He's training with Khabib and his boys. Obviously, they test him. And all of those guys say that Usman is actually one of the most talented guys. Khabib said it himself. Islam said it himself, actually, that Usman is very talented. So, those two guys, I'll be excited. Like, they come to UFC maybe next year, 2027. They could put up some good fights against the top five, like Ilya versus Usman, Arman versus Usman. Those could be nice fights. Yeah, that's the thing with the UFC. UFC has a lot of good grapplers. Like a lot of NCAA guys move to UFC. A lot of like good jiu-jitsu guys actually come to UFC. Whereas like outside, it's mostly like in PFL, there's a lot of good strikers. Uh, in Bellator, there were some good wrestlers, but it's not like they were not good at like mixing up, and they were mostly like NCAA wrestlers. They were not like sambo-based wrestlers who could actually grapple a lot. So yeah, most of the time those guys do not have the best control. Like we saw that with Michael Chandler. He moved to UFC. He moved to UFC, by the way, pretty late in his career as well. If he came in his prime, he would have done a lot better. But he didn't have the best control. Like you could see Michael Chandler taking people down sometimes, but it's like he's not being able to hold them down. He doesn't get a ground and pound. He doesn't get a good ground and pound. He doesn't have a submission threat. It's like he takes the people down, spends a lot of energy, sometimes slam them just for the show, but he's not able to do the work. And I think uh, this is what he's lacking. But now the next fight is against Conor McGregor, so that's more like an entertainment fight, right? And I'm sure Chandler is not actually going there to actually win the fight. He's going there to put on a show. And UFC is actually rewarding fighters who are entertaining. They've said it themselves now that UFC will be rewarding the entertaining fighters. We know that UFC is actually getting rid of the fighters that are kind of like boring. So I think with McGregor, I think Chandler is going to try to grapple less. He's going to try to knock him out. Yeah, Chandler's pro every fight that this guy's been in has been one of the most entertaining fight. Look, watch his whole UFC run. He's on a losing streak right now. How many fights has he lost? But every one of his fight, every single one of his fight, has been a banger. He comes in, fights Dan Hooker in his first fight, flatlines him. Not a long fight. It was the first round. Flatlines him. Only lasted like 2-3 minutes, but good fight. Then he fights Charles Oliveira for the title. He almost finishes Charles Oliveira. There was like back and forth, um, and he loses to Charles Oliveira. But that fight was also a great fight. He fights, he fights somebody. He fights Tony Ferguson. He beats him in an emphatic fashion. He loses the first round. Second round, he teeps him on the face, completely flatlines him. Uh, Amazing fight. Then he goes against Justin Gaethje. They put on fight of the year. It was a crazy fight, back and forth. He hurts him in the first round, then he gets dropped in the second round. Third round is back and forth, but Chandler's kind of fucked up. He loses the fight, but it's still the one of the best fights. Then he loses to a couple of other guys. He loses the rematch to Charles Oliveira, but that goes to like 5 rounds. He loses to Paddy Pimblett. He loses to, I don't know, he loses to a couple of guys. But he loses to Dustin Poirier. That's a good fight. He's winning the fight. At some point, it looks like Chandler's going to be able to finish Dustin Poirier. But then he wastes a lot of energy. He slams him when there's no need to slam him. But then he has no control of the ground. And then Dustin Poirier kind of like gets him in a rear naked choke. And Chandler quits. So, that's the story of Michael Chandler's career in UFC. But I guess I don't want to blame him, to be honest, because he joined the UFC at the age of like 36, 35, 36. So he's already at the end of his career, and then he's taking the fights against legends. So obviously you're going to lose some of the fights. You're going against the very best. It was like he was just thrown to the wolves. He didn't have to fight guys who were like number 15, number 10. He was thrown against guys like just Gaethje, against Charles Oliveira, so like the top level guys. And he did pretty well against those guys. Like there were some points when he was able to hurt those guys, and it looked like he was going to win the fight, but eventually ended up losing the fight. Yeah, I think he's a bit crazy. Also, I think he's trying to put on a show for the fans. He's very explosive. Athletically, he's one of the best. The way he moves, man. He's not the tallest guy, but he's got power. He's got speed. Uh, you know, what I would be interested to see would be Michael Chandler versus Arman Sarikin in a wrestling match. I think that would be a good one. In an MMA match, I don't think that would be close because Arman is even a better striker than Michael Chandler. Arman is not even going to try to bang with him. Arman is faster than him. Arman is going to stay outside and maybe kick him a lot. And then when Arman shoots, Arman does not even get tired throughout the period of like 5 rounds. Michael Chandler does get tired. So, first of all, I don't see Chandler taking him down, but Arman has the ability to get back up even if he gets taken down. Chandler would not have the ability. If Arman takes him down, Chandler's going to get stuck. Arman's beat a day is much better than Chandler, especially after competing in like those beat a day events. He knows better. His positioning is much better. His ground control is much better. Uh, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Oh my god. Any other thing, by the way? Any other questions regarding UFC? Do you want any takes? Do you have any takes yourself? 145. We discussed 145. We discussed 155. What else can they make at 155? What do you think about Gamrod versus Arman, by the way? Who do you think won the first fight? I watched the fight back and I think Arman clearly won the fight. He should have won 3 rounds. He definitely won the first 2 rounds when he was the one wrestling offensively, was able to take Gamrod down. And then it was like Arman got a bit tired, and then Gamrot started wrestling in the fourth and the fifth round. Third round was quite close. I think Gamrot was able to take him down like fourth and fifth round, but he wasn't able to do any damage at all. So I don't know why they gave the fight to Gamrot. It should have been Arman Sarukian. But a lot of people actually say like you lost that fight and now you're trying to duck Gamrot again. But Gamrot is not even in the rankings, man. This guy's like on a 3-fight losing streak, so there's nothing to gain for Arman Tariq from Gamrot. Uh, what do you think about Chanko, by the way? He's fighting a 155 too. Do you think in 2026 he's going to be able to make it into the top 10? And who should he fight next? I think if Chanko improves his grappling, which he will because he's grappling in a very grappling based team, Khabib, Islam, and those guys. So it's definitely gonna get better. But he's got very high level Muay Thai, man. So I do see him climbing up the ranks and actually doing very well against the top level guys. Oof, 170. 170. Who do you think should be getting the next title shot? We have a lot of options. Do you think Islam versus Usman would actually be a good fight? Do I want to see it? I want to see it because Usman did very well against Hamza Chimaev. I would say in the second and the third round. So I would love to see him against Islam Makhachev, although I do think Islam is better than Hamzat in some regards. But also I think that Hamzat was not doing his best in that fight. Like Hamzat can normally do better than that. Okay, I'm gonna start a pull. I'm adding some prospects. Peyton Talbot. Maybe. Yeah, what do you guys think about this? I think personally, Ian Gary is the one who actually deserves the title fight at 170. After the 2-fight winning streak and after the promo that he has got, like he's the guy who's actually shown it against um good level opposition that he can actually give tough time to Islam Makhachev. Although I do not think that's going to be the case. But he had a fight further. He did pretty good against Bilal, and Bilal, you could say, has like a good wrestling style, right? He's a lot of like he puts a lot of pressure on. He's constantly shooting for the takedowns. So if he's been able to defend the takedowns for Bilal, he's made a strong case that he could at least convince people that he can defend the takedowns against Islam Makhachev. Although I don't think that's going to be the case because I think Islam fights in a little different way. Like Islam is more like a counter striker, and he's waiting for the other person to throw this. He's setting up the takedowns better than how Bilal does. Bilal normally just do like the pressure takedowns, which can be defended if the opposition knows what he's going for. But with Islam, it's more rapid. It's more sort of like it's more subtle. You wouldn't really see the takedown coming, and you wouldn't really know which takedown he will be going for because Islam does a variety of takedowns. He does a lot of takedowns from the clinch. He would do the throws. He would do the single double legs. He does everything. So with Islam, it's a different case. So I think Ian Gary would actually be a good contender against Islam Makhachev. I just don't think it's going to be good enough to beat him. With um with Michael Morales, I don't think his grappling has been tested to that level. Like, see, Has he shown us that he can put people to sleep? Yes, he's shown that to us many, many times. He's a massive welterweight. We saw that against Brady. Morales weighed in at 210 pounds the day before the fight, the night of the fight. So that is massive. He's the biggest welterweight I think we have. He hits really hard, hits like a truck. But we have not seen his grappling. We do know that he used to do judo when he was like 7 years old, but we don't know if he still has the ability because we don't know how much time he is not trained judo for. So that I want to see. So I think he probably needs like one tuna fight. Maybe give him Bilal actually. Uh, Carlos Pradas has proved us that he's got knockout power. He's a very stylish, very beautiful striker, but he's also shown us weaknesses in his grappling. So I don't think he should be the guy to face Islam Makhachev because we've seen that Islam knows how to beat him. If Ian Gary cannot grapple you, Islam Makhachev for sure will be able to grapple you. Uh, who else is there? We got Ian Gary, Usman. Look, Kamaru Usman is a guy who can actually give very tough time to Islam just based on the wrestling credentials that this guy's got. He's got great wrestling legacy, and he's one of the guys who's been able to use wrestling very well in MMA. Like he's one of the best guys when it comes to mixing his wrestling and being bigger than Islam. Is he going to be able to overpower Islam when it comes to wrestling? Is he going to be able to defend the takedowns from Islam? Is he going to be able to take Islam down? Maybe would he be able to give tough time to Islam in striking because he does have a very good cross and Usman actually does have a lot of power. So would that be a problem for Islam? We don't really know, right? We don't know what Usman is going to show up in the fight. Is it going to be the prime Usman who can actually go 5 rounds at relentless pace and actually holds like knockout power? Or is it going to be the Usman who's been knocked out a few times now and has lost a bit of a temper, has lost a bit of confidence? That we're gonna find out if the fight actually happens. But I think UFC should let him prove himself because this would get a lot of criticism from the fans, and you might not be able to sell the tickets that you actually want to. Fans are already criticizing the fight because they don't think Usman deserves it. Usman has only one fight winning streak, and that was against Buckley. It's better if he wins a few more fights. So the people see that he's not actually at the end of his career. Let's say he has one more fight and he completely dominates the fight. That's also gonna show the fans like he's still got it, man. He hasn't lost it. He's not done. He's got it. And then that will make the fight more entertaining because it will be more compelling after that. And if Islam takes a fight against one of the contenders right now, like Ian Gary. Let's say Islam destroys Ian Gary, then not many people are going to be talking about the other contenders. So then he can beat Kamaru Usman and then have one more fight against like Michael Morales. That's it. Islam wins 3 more fights, welterweight, and then he retires. Mm. Yo, guys, I'm probably gonna get off the stream. It was a nice stream, but I think I had yeah, probably gonna get some sleep. But yeah, guys, tune in tomorrow. I'm gonna be streaming for like a long, long time because tomorrow I might be working from home, so it means I would have more time. And I'm gonna stream during the daytime, and I might do like a long stream, but then also I'm definitely gonna stream at night as well. So hopefully that will be a nice one. But yeah, bye for today, and but tomorrow definitely join me for the streaming.